There's always a ton of gaming news during the week, and I thought I would try something a little bit different for Save State Plus this time, going over everything that has been revealed. Now, in my opinion, it's been a little bit slow, but that Doom: The Dark Ages official trailer 2 did not disappoint. Long story short, another trailer for Doom came out, and this one was much more focused on the Doom Slayer, the story, and what we can expect from this next iteration of Doom. Doom: The Dark Ages is undoubtedly one of my most anticipated games of 2025, and I cannot wait to play more. But if that wasn't enough for you, they also unveiled a limited edition Doom: The Dark Ages controller and a console wrap. Now, nothing too crazy about this, but they did show off a cool looking controller that a lot of people are talking about and a unique wrap for the Xbox Series X console. These aren't so much my cup of tea. I'm more into, playing the actual game. Speaking of gaming, Super Nintendo Entertainment System back in 1991 had a trailer that was released featuring Paul Rudd, and they sort of brought it back for a YouTube trailer that they're calling Now You're Playing Together, Feat Paul Rudd, where it was a big throwback to the original Nintendo trailer from back in 1991. Really, really great marketing from Nintendo here, and it makes me just happy to see them revisiting all of their old assets and all of their old commercials, poking fun at themselves, having fun with it. I really, really enjoy that quite a bit. Speaking of Nintendo, the pre-orders are back on for the US market. April 24th is going to be your date. And guess what? The pricing actually has not changed. As of April 18th, 2025, the Nintendo Switch 2 is still going to market for $449.99, and the Nintendo Switch 2 and Mario Kart World bundle will be $499.99. Now, one small caveat to that. Some of the peripherals may have increased in price. You're going to have to check your specific territory, but one thing I was keeping an eye on was the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller, which looks like it went up a little bit. So unfortunately, we will get dinged in one way or another with these tariffs and everything going on in the world. Hopefully, that doesn't change. Now, the official release that they sent to GameStop said pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2 will begin on Thursday, April 24th, 2025. At launch, the price for Nintendo Switch 2 in the US will remain as announced on April 2nd at $449.99. That was their original announcement date. And the Nintendo Switch 2 plus Mario Kart World bundle will remain the same. Pricing for both physical and digital versions of Mario Kart World $79.99 and Donkey Kong Bonanza $69.99 will also remain unchanged at launch. However, Nintendo Switch 2 accessories will experience price adjustments from those announced on April 2nd due to changes in market conditions. Other adjustments to the price of any Nintendo product are also possible in the future depending on market conditions. So hopefully things hold steady and we get a reasonably priced Nintendo Switch 2 in the near future. Speaking of pricing changes, unfortunately, I thought this was a old story being retweeted to troll me, but the PlayStation 5 is yet again getting a price increase. This was announced on April 13th. The PS5 price is going to rise in Europe and Australia and New Zealand, going up yet again. So the UK looks like the PS5 physical edition will be $429. In Europe, it'll be $499. Those are for the digital editions of the game. Australia, it's also increasing. I'll just post the various prices that they announced on the official blog post here. And in addition to that, our friends in the north, up in Canada, if you're in the United States anyway, they are also getting a price increase for PlayStation Plus. Obviously, users are not happy about this. It's just unfortunate that we're seeing price adjustments across the board on everybody. I don't believe this is tariff related, but it certainly is wallet related if you enjoy spending less on the games that you play. Now, Marathon came out last week. I started a new show called, what did we call it? Exfil Chat, a little bit of a nod to I don't know, some other show I used to do on IGN or something. I don't know. However, they announced this big splash of an update. Marathon closed alpha update, it reads on Bungie.net. We'd like to start this update with a big thank you to everyone who has joined us in the Marathon community or signed up for alpha since our reveal showcase last weekend. As developers, we believe community feedback and dialogue is essential to make the best version of Marathon. Up until now, the feedback has come from closed playtest sessions. In the spirit of building towards that future, we've decided to remove the NDA from our closed alpha test. Everyone can share their thoughts, feedback, and footage, including streaming, starting on April 23rd. So that's right. If you happen to be in the Marathon alpha, you are all good to go as of April 23rd to talk all about what you want to play. Specifically, they're looking for feedback basically on everything, the weapons and gunplay, the maps, and I mean, that has me quite excited about where they're going with the game. Paul Tassi over at Forbes, I know I had read reports that leadership was a little bit shaken after their reveal. There was a lot of criticism, believe it or not just from me for a change. A lot of people criticized the live stream where people were sitting around talking about a game that most of us haven't experienced, and I think that's sort of a problem when you're only speaking to people who have played the game before and you're constantly having this feedback with this group of people where you're just sort of in a bubble, right? So when you make this presentation to the wider market, people like Destin Legary, who didn't go to Bungie, who haven't really been following Marathon that closely, I don't know what you're talking about. All of that said, however, the more I learn about Marathon, the more excited I get. They had this really slick Traxxas Vulcan intro.
Attention all runners. Traxxas Offworld Industries is currently seeking candidates for resource extraction on Tau Ceti 4. Traxxas Offworld Industries is the interplanetary economic leader across every major industrial category. Align with a corporation at the forefront of innovation and gain access to cutting-edge equipment and sponsorship.
Now, Traxxas is one of the factions where you can do some of the priority contracts and learn more about the story and the world. And this was really slick. If all the factions have an intro like this, I'm definitely excited to see more of what they're going to present. And if they can have that as sort of a through line or a presentation style, I think it will work really well, especially because Marathon is like this AI driven, larger than life. You're not a real person, you're like reincarnated via silk worms that rebuild your body or something. Anyway, it's some crazy stuff, and I'm excited to learn more about the world of Marathon. But most people are like me. They didn't play the original games. They don't know much about the original games, so they're kind of going into this fresh, and I think this is the right move on Bungie's part. Now, we know the following about Marathon. It's going to launch as a full price premium product, aka what people are thinking is $40, and it's going to launch with 3 maps at launch and a battle pass. Now, for me, I'm so on the 3 map thing. I have other concerns, like the fact that your character will be wiped regularly, but 3 maps is fine. I mean, Tarkov was 1 map for years. PUBG, we just played on 1 map for a year. So the fact that they have 3 maps, which will add a little bit of a variance, I think it could be okay, and I'm a little bit less concerned about it. I'm more concerned about how that reset mechanic is going to work. And one other thing that they shared, they also showed the rebuilding cinematic where you die and you come back to life, and it shows the alpha intro cinematic that they'll greet you with once you boot up into the game. Obviously, a lot of stuff has been coming out online. Marathon's definitely a big one that I'm going to be following in the coming weeks and months, so if you're tired of hearing about it, sorry, but you're going to hear more from your old pal Destin Legary here. And speaking of other Bungie-related games, on May 6, 2025, we will learn more about the Edge of Fate and the upcoming year of Destiny 2. Now that will drop May 6, 2025 at 9 a.m. Pacific time. However, the season ends sometime in July. I actually just put it on my calendar. Let me bring it up here. But the season that we're currently in, The last day is July 14th, so I believe Edge of Fate would launch July 15th. There's been a lot going on with Destiny in terms of their timing of releases and such, but I'm kind of into it. I just did my yearly thing where I release all the montages. I did Final Shape. It's like 4.5 hours long. I did episode 1, 2, and 3. Each of those are 2 hours long. So you're talking about 10 hours of video content that I just put out on my YouTube channel. So if you're looking to get caught up, I still have that master playlist where I collect all the spoken dialogue. I don't know why I feel so compelled to do this. I like doing it. I like having that for Destiny. I kind of started and it's hard for me to put down. So check that out if you're sort of interested in where Destiny is going. Speaking of other games in this same vein, The Division 2 is going to be showcasing something on April 23rd about the Battle for Brooklyn DLC. Now, I've heard rumblings about this from Insider Gaming, who is saying that the next Division DLC is going to be released in the near future, and it's going to be about $15. This is from Henderson, according to Insider Gaming, and originally planned for 2024, Battle for Brooklyn was delayed into early 2025 as part of Year 6. In January 2025, however, it was bumped yet again. So they're announcing it now on April 23rd, and I guess we will learn more about when it is actually going to drop. On Insider Gaming, apologies, they actually say the expected release is sometimes towards the end of May. I'm actually going to say June. And speaking of games like this, April 24th, FBC Firebreak is going to confirm that they're doing a special live stream on the 24th of FBC Firebreak, another one of these co-op shooter games in that same vein of the other games that I'm really, really into and like talking to y'all about. There was one other notable story. What was it? Oh yeah, basically the Oblivion remake is all but confirmed. By the time you watch this, the live stream for Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion will probably have happened. There have been all of these rumors and basically confirmed images that somebody went to the website, found on the back end, and then posted were revealed. And now we know exactly what to expect from Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. So that live stream is dropping on 4/22/25. I believe Jeff Grubb said after the live stream it could drop immediately. So we could all be playing a pretty cool looking remake of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I mean, I'm not even that into Elder Scrolls 4, but this doesn't just look like an HD upres. This looks like they've rebuilt sections of the map. They've redone the HUD. There's better hit interactions, according to Legacy Killer, who I follow here on Twitter. And there's a bunch of images out there already of different editions. Somebody must have messed up on their website and basically put out all of these things, and now we're all talking about them. Now, what about Skyblivion? Skyblivion, for those of you who don't know, is this big fan mod. They basically came out and said, you know what? There's room for 2 Oblivion remasters. These are a bunch of fans who have been working on this for a long time. I think I reacted to the trailer on the channel before, and their game is looking great, and the remaster is looking great, and I am excited about that. A little bit unorganized for the first time doing this, but that is all of the news that I had for you this week. There was one other thing I just wanted to give a nod to. Diablo Cross Berserk was teased. Now, to me, this looks like one of the animated shorts for Diablo Immortal versus Diablo 4, but this is both Diablo 4 and Diablo Immortal as notated on the website. I'm a big Berserk fan. It is a messed up show if you have never seen it, but I am really into it. And last but not least, the new Superman behind the scenes thing. Well, I thought it was a little bit cringe that they scripted out the actors talking about rolling acting in their parts. I thought that was a little bit cringy, but otherwise the trailer is really, really good. It definitely captures the tone of what James Gunn is going for in the new Superman. I'm going to link to all the trailers and everything in the description below if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet. So just ignore the fact that the actors are acting when they talk about their acting in the in the theater thing. It was just so awkward. I'm like, why didn't they just do the sit down like everybody else? Why did you have them walk at the camera? But that's just Destin's producer brain calling out like, it's a little bit weird. That said, I'm actually all into this Superman movie camp. I don't know where you fall. Let me know in the comments below, but let's see what you got, James Gunn. I love superheroes. I love Superman, and I can't wait to see more. All right, that's all I got for you this week. That's this week's Save State Plus. Thought I would try and change it up. I like going over the news, and I didn't do a script for this. I just kind of went through the various news stories that I wanted to talk about from the last week. Let me know how I did. Let me know if you like this format. I think it's more conversational. I think it's fun, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for supporting all of the work that I do here on YouTube, over on Patreon. You can support patreon.com/SaveStatePlus if you choose to do so, or you can become a member here on YouTube. Of course, a big shout out to Chris Ratty, Inner Machine, Philaroni, Spin Getter, and Aries EMS, some of my top contributors. But thank you to everybody who has decided to become a member and said, Destin, thank you so much for what you do. We want to support your channel, and you keep me going. If you want to check out those Destiny montages, there's the playlist. And if you want to see my rambly video where I talk about not Warlords of New York, the new Division Battle for Brooklyn DLC that's coming out, and my reaction to it, you can check that out. I'm going to get out of here, though. I'll see you for the next one. Have a great day, everybody.